several years ago.
A friend of my
And who's
brother
David
and I
Blankley?
for quite a
Yeah,
while.
from-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of
He
big
was
names
there
out
with
through
the
there.
landowner.
Yeah,
And he had a photo book there in front of him. So
Sean,
if you
yeah, he
can
lives
go-
just not too
Okay,
far.
so that's the one I want. All right.
Right around the
So
corner.
I'm sure they went out the next day, positioned him right for that one deer so they could get it on camera.
That is 7
The last
o'clock.
couple
You
of
ready?
years, he's been shooting the shit out of
Guys ready?
Yeah.
Call the November 7th council meeting to order. Can we all stand for pledge allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mike, call roll, please.
Roy Wags absent. Stiggy,
Here.
Arnold,
Here,
Belzer,
Here.
Marshall,
Here.
Hammer.
Here.
All right, look for a motion to approve the agenda.
so moved.
Second.
Got a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, look for a motion to approve consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, now's the point of the meeting. Citizen has 3 minutes to address the council. Nobody? Sure? Sure? All right. All right, I look for a motion to close regular meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion, a second to close regular meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, look for a motion to enter into public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we are now in a public hearing for fiscal year 24-25 budget amendment. Mike, have you had anybody
No, still.
call in? Nothing? A couple of these things, and you know, these numbers can change if you guys see the highlighted portion in your packet there, like the downtown facade. That's mainly we're guessing what we may have to spend with that architect company before July 1st. So these are some things that we didn't have already budgeted, you know, back in January, so. You wanna stay open for 2 minutes in case anybody online, or? Good? Anybody got any questions? Anybody at all? All right, look for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, look for a motion to open regular meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. New business, approval appointment to fill Ward 2 vacancy. If you all remember, Sarah bought a new house outside city limits, so her ward spot is now open. I had one person that reached out to me, Troy Mitchell, who had served on previous council for, did you make it 10 years, maybe? One term? Okay, 1 4-year term, okay. And I think Mike had,
Paige Hamilton reached out to me and said she'd take it too, so. But she was not able to make it tonight. He's out of town.
I didn't know, if anybody else have anybody? So, you guys can discuss if you wanna quiz Troy a little bit.
I'll vouch for Troy. He's been on the council when I was mayor and he did a great job. Very level headed. I don't know Paige, so. Just fulfilling her term.
Filling her term, yes, correct.
and how much-
But her term is up next November, no matter what.
Yeah.
so you-
So
Be a year,
A
1
year.
year.
basically 1 year.
I do still have the plaque.
I'd say that's a win.
Those were donated by Midwest
Okay.
Automotive out. Yeah. It's Weston.
That's hilarious.
That's a good one.
Do you have anything to add, Mr. Mayor?
I don't, no, that's,
You
council's
guys can
decision
do it
there.
one of two ways, you can each, we go down the line, you vote for who you wanna vote for, or somebody can make a motion in a second, we vote on it that way, so. However,
We can do roll call if you wanna, it's up to you guys if you want it private and.
I think, before we do that, Troy, you'd come up and maybe just say just a couple things,
Tell us
if
who
you
you are.
would.
Just a couple things.
Okay.
You don't know Troy very well.
You do only get 3 minutes, it is on that.
Just a couple things.
It's fair.
No, I've been in town here, 20-some years. Probably longer than that, 25, 26 years. Been on the council once when Sean was the mayor. Honestly, it probably took the first session to even learn what was going on, and then I didn't continue. But part of the reason I didn't continue on was because of my kids were all in sports, and we were traveling all around. I didn't make a lot of the meetings. I made enough, but at times I didn't feel I had enough time to have be on city council to share enough insight there. So with the traveling and everything, I chose not to rerun. It's kind of the main reason for that.
Am I
But-
sitting in your seat or?
Yeah, that's where I was.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't even know where I was. Not next to Sean, he wouldn't let me sit next to him. But otherwise, yeah, we're lifetime Wapello people here, so don't plan on moving, I guess, for now. So build our careers around Wapello, Muscatine, and Burlington, so we're right in the middle. So,
Okay.
so there you go.
Anybody got any
Good
questions?
enough? Any questions for me?
Get the sheet rock hung yet?
No, don't allow me to do labor jobs at the church. So, yeah, okay, thank you.
Thanks, Troy.
Thank you, Troy.
I can say a couple things about Paige. I mean, she's very community-minded. She's several groups, and she was it some group that, well, she runs the bingo on there on Friday
Community
night. for winter.
Foundation, oh, the community club,
Community
Wapello
Club.
Community
she's
Club.
president.
And she's on Chief Wapello Days or something like that.
Yeah, she
She
said
just
something
got
like
on
that.
the Chief Waffle Days Committee last year, that's been this.
And so she's very community-minded and good part of the community. So either way, I don't think we could go wrong.
How soon do we need to fill it, want to fill it?
You know, we're lacking anyway. You know, Larry's still battling some health issues. I mean, I personally would like to get it filled, but that's just my opinion. So,
I mean, I know Troy and I like Troy and I'd love to see him up here. I don't know Paige and that's just because I just don't know her. That's all there is.
you know, my opinion is, you know, we're lacking in some. You all know Cindy's, you know, take a little leave of absence. And my only opinion would be to, you know, if Sean stepped, or if Troy stepped in here, he could take off running. It is only, you know, specifically for a year term. And then, you know, Paige could run, Troy could run, two other people could run the next term. Like Troy reiterated, and I think all of you can speak to this, that it takes, you know, you're still learning at the end of a 4-year term. Budget stuff, you know, for sure.
And I think that's where Troy would have the advantage,
Right.
because he's already been through that 4
I
times.
think he was on the finance committee, at least for a couple years, and we've got a lot of spending projects going on, especially within the next year and immediately. We were actually gonna have a finance committee meeting before this, and just don't feel we've got enough yet to make some decisions, so that's just my opinion, so.
Okay, and myself, she is my family, and he's a member of my church, so I'm gonna set it out. I'm gonna set this one out, so you guys can vote on what you wanna vote on.
So I'll look for a motion for either. Is that the way you want, I mean,
You just want to go down the line.
Or we can go down the line. It's up to you guys.
Go down the line and make a tally.
Go down the line. Bill, you said you abstained.
Yep, I'm gonna abstain.
Arnold,
Mitchell,
Belzer,
Mitchell?
Marshall,
Mitchell.
Hammer,
Mine doesn't even count, but I'm
Wow.
going Troy.
he's still got this.
He's got 3 against what he's saying. It don't matter.
Oh, I got it. Oh, man, I guess maybe you don't want me on the finance committee.
And like I said, I don't want this to be a negative towards Paige, because she is
Yeah,
on a lot of Wapello committees.
She's a good gal.
And she has, expressed interest in quite some time of serving up here, so I would, push her to run.
I'd
It's just, I
encourage
think
her.
we need that leadership, and I don't mean leadership in that way, but somebody that can sit in that chair and immediately know
Hit the
exactly
ground running
what
next
to
one,
do,
yeah.
so. But, it's all right, well, I will, I got 4 that, are saying Troy, so somebody wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I think that's good enough.
Okay, you good?
I'm good.
Okay.
Now Troy wants to step forward, you swear him in, you can take your seat.
swear ready.
We do it now?
Yeah.
And you get to sit next to the mayor.
Wow.
Okay,
One
think
step
you can
forward.
read this?
Right hand,
up, yep.
no Bible?
I, Troy Mitchell, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I, Troy Mitchell, solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
that I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties of the office of City Council in Wapello,
discharge all the, what now?
Duties.
Discharge all the duties of the office of the City Council of Wapello,
as now or hereafter required by law.
as now or hereafter is required by law.
All right, come here and sign.
That was a lot of words.
6th.
What'd you say? Say that again, sir.
I have to read the Constitution out loud.
I think Sean would read a lot more of them lines, and we'd be really hard to remember.
You spell my name.
He handed the paper. He handed the paper and said, read this.
You're good.
It's,
Mike will change it.
What is that?
7.
My name's Tori now.
There you go.
Okay.
Get out of line.
I got him here now, or I can.
Yeah, you're good.
Well,
Oh, you do it tonight?
We swore at you, sir.
It's effective immediately?
It is.
Immediately.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We don't even give you a chance to breathe.
Jeez.
All right. Number 2. You want a pen? It's tight around here, so I gotta have that pen back. Discussion or interaction with Blaine Doppler on Spectre Build on applying for catalyst grant for building at 201 Highway 61 North. I did I've been speaking with Zach James quite a bit here lately, and did reach out to Zach yesterday, because we do have another person interested possibly in purchasing the old City Hall building, and they questioned about the catalyst grant. I don't know that they would apply for it, don't know that they want anything to do with it, but after speaking with Zach James, he kind of hinted that maybe we shouldn't publicize this, that, we're gonna allow somebody to apply for this, maybe give a 2-week deadline, and if anybody else wants to apply, then they can. And if you guys remember, maybe 3-4 years ago, we had this same instance happen when Danielle Black and Spectra wanted to do a building, and we had them bring their proposals to us of what they were going to do, and the city council made a decision on which entity they wanted to service that grant for. So right now, Mike, do you think if we should we put it in the paper? Do you think by the 21st is plenty of time?
That's why don't give him a week once it gets advertised.
Okay, well then let's go the 5th. Actually,
Well, you want him
yeah,
to have
let's,
it in front of us that day, right?
right, so let's do
Friday
the
before.
2nd. Let's do Monday, December 2nd.
Okay.
That work for you guys?
Yeah. So
Okay.
table 2.
So you-
Anybody that shows interest in the Catalyst grant needs to bring
Submit their proposals to
drawings.
City Hall by December
Monday,
2nd.
yep.
Does anybody want to have any further discussion on that?
Well, just curious where was Blaine at on his part of when, you know, he's working on
You know, what's,
North Second Street there.
He's got a December 31st of this year deadline he's supposed to be completed by, so hopefully he'll make that on that particular grant.
Okay.
I know
And
that
and what is the building he's interested in? Can I ask that? Is
it's the old Mexican
and
restaurant.
what's what's the plans for, just?
Don't know.
Is
That's
that
what,
See, that's
that's
big.
what
Okay.
he should be bringing
Yeah.
Okay.
by then,
All right.
as well as whoever's interested in the City Hall building.
Okay.
Old
But
City
you can
Hall.
the city can only apply for one of those a year.
Okay.
So only one person gets it
So we'll table number 2 till
till,
first meeting in December?
yeah, and it won't even really be that number 2 because it'll change. It won't be his name, or it probably might have
be,
somebody
yeah,
else's
yeah.
name on there,
Okay.
so.
Blaine is working on an old Mexican restaurant, trying to get it sealed up to try and meet all the dangerous buildings that we filed on it
Oh, okay.
a few months ago, so.
So,
All right.
any further? Anybody?
Nope.
Anybody? All right. Number 3, discussion and or action on quote for removal of dangerous building at 608 ISIT. I think Mike got 2 bids on tearing down this house. I met with the attorney last week to discuss options of prosecution, mainly of worrying that, making sure we get reimbursed for this. If we tear down that house, know that there'll never be another house built there. The attorney was leaving the country. She will be back early next week, wants to meet to discuss the options for this. So,
Another house can't be built there because of this setbacks,
and width, isn't it?
The size of the lot,
Yeah.
not big enough to,
even a tiny home.
you gotta have so many square feet, lot to build a house on now. I mean, obviously, they could go to the variance board and get a variance granted.
Right,
We just cannot approve,
yeah.
How big is
And I
the
think 2
house?
things.
How big's the
Number
lot?
one, I mean, I hate to,
Should be done.
you know, if that house fixed up, could probably assess for 60,000, and
Pretty well.
it'd be nice to have on the tax roll. But then again, we've got an ordinance to follow, and if nobody wants to follow them, we need to enforce them.
And how many warnings have they gotten?
Way too many.
It's been on discussions for too long, and I think if we don't make a stance, we're just gonna continue to let the ripple effect continue to escalate, and I'm tired of
As
it.
you can see, I think somebody said, well, yeah, but they're already starting to work on it. Well, it took
Too long, 2
It
years.
took a notice in the paper stating that we're tearing it down after they signed the document, knowing that that's what our intentions are, for them to finally say, well, we're sending somebody over there to fix it. No, you're not. You put a brown piece of steel on the roof that even looks worse than what it was, and you put blue tarps over the windows. I mean, not having it.
No, we have ordinances for a reason,
So,
so, too many warnings. in there.
So hopefully that attorney will be back early next week. It's not our local attorney because I think they represent in some other matters, so they didn't want to, so it's a Columbus Junction attorney, so we'll find that out and go from there, so. Otherwise, we do got two quotes, and pretty good quotes, really. A lot cheaper than I thought they would be, so.
Do we have to action on 3, or you gonna wait till our next meeting?
You probably,
Can we action and then,
let's wait.
I'll table it until next
Yeah,
meeting.
let's table. Number 4, Resolution 2426, approving 24-25 budget amendment. This is what you just had the public hearing for.
I make a motion.
So, yeah, second.
Got a motion, and a second. Any further discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 5, approval resolution 2427, approving the fiscal year 24 street finance report.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion, and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Committee or board reports? Solid
We,
waste?
yeah, we had one, we went to the regular meeting in October, and we had some things we had to table, because we were discussing the monies to purchase a trailer, a new trash trailer, instead of a walking floor. We just went with a tipper this time, and it ended up being 77,000, just under 80 grand. And then we went, and we also looking into getting a security system for cameras, new cameras and stuff out to the transfer station. And then we was looking into borrowing the money, and we got the rates, and went to the 3 different banks, and I believe we're gonna be going with Community Bank, because they had the best rates. And then we had an emergency meeting, last Monday, was it, Bill? Or earlier this week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Monday night, and I'll let Bill fill you in on that, because he was. Yeah, I know, I was there.
My brilliant idea, huh?
Yeah, it was your brilliant idea.
Well, they were gonna go out and borrow like $80,000 on this trailer, and the interest rate was gonna be, I don't know, starting around 6, between 6 and 7, and it was gonna be a 5-year term. They were looking at $12,000 in interest. Well, they've got enough money in the bank that I just ran it past them, said, why don't you just take half your money out of savings and borrow half as much? And at that point, pay the loan to the bank and then pay your savings back. Whatever the payment, it's gonna be like $1,700 a month payment.
Mhm.
Just pay half of that to the bank and the other half each month right back into your savings again, and you're paying yourself right back. And you're paying yourself interest as well, and you're not paying it to the bank. And they like that idea, so that's what they're gonna do. So,
Good job. Now, your security system, is it gonna be in the disposal
Not
building
this-
too?
Not this time, but.
I
that's
just
not-
think, the only reason I ask is, I am out there a lot, and I think that might save maybe some wear and tear on your trailers if somebody knew they were being watched.
They've got a new driver out there in the handle, and I guess he's really very good with equipment, and he's
Gotcha.
not banging into that back wall all the time, so. And then we've talked about doing some, more repairs to that back wall, putting up some steel, but I know they have patched it and things like that, and they're nearly finished with, I think they've gotta put some, roofs over a few of the new transfer station spots. The e-waste and things like that on that new building they put up. Or slots, or whatever you wanna call
the
it.
recycling areas and
Yeah.
stuff. They wanna cover that before winter.
Well, that, and it's kinda required by the DNR
Well.
too, so. But things are starting to look like they're turning around for the better out there, so.
Alright. Anybody else? Nothing? No library?
Troy?
Pool's closed.
What's my report?
How's the swim pool?
What's my report?
Pool's closed.
Mayor report, Old City Hall building, we're just waiting on, Barn Grover's got everything completed on their end, but 2 doors, we're making them replace. The one door on the north is pretty beat up, and they are just waiting on that door to come back from the manufacturer. Once that is complete, we'll get everything cleaned up and, ready to sell, so. The downtown facade grant, second owner meetings, drawings, design and cost opinions were done yesterday and today. I seen a few of the drawings, pretty cool. I didn't see yours, but I seen Jamie Lynn's, and it was a makeover. And doable. Hers is a little higher than I thought, which,
Take everybody's.
that's architect.
Yeah,
Um,
ours was 153.
But what I do hope is, that people understand they're getting 75% of that paid for. So, you know, yes, it is an investment, but it's an investment in your own business. And what she stressed to me today is I know that some people have said, okay, only a couple, I think I've got some negative vibe from, that if enough buildings are done, we won't get it again because the majority of our downtown won't be blight. So if you don't do it, you're probably never gonna get it. And really, I think that's a black eye for a downtown business owner. So, you know, if it comes down to needing a little bit of assistance verbally, you know, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, speak up. Come into City Hall, ask. Don't just say I can't do it.
It's gonna transform downtown, it's gonna be shocking if it goes through like it should.
So
Just on the 2 or 3 buildings that I own, it's gonna be unbelievable.
I know that I talked to one business owner and they said they're not interested in doing it all, and I said, why don't you sell your building? If you don't wanna invest in downtown in your own business, sell your building. And that is I'll tell anybody that. If you don't wanna fix your building up, get rid of it.
Yeah.
So. But anyway, so, I think we're gonna have a commitment letter that's probably gonna go out and be due like by November 23rd, November 22nd. I gotta get with her tomorrow and find that out for sure. I think the city's gonna implement a little earnest money because everybody's receiving, you know, a drawing, and that drawing can be used and we've gotta have, and it won't be much. It might be $300-400. And if they do it, they're gonna get it back. If they don't, then we're gonna keep the $300-400. I don't know if it's gonna be 3 or 4, but, I'll get with her tomorrow and see what equivalent cities have done. I know like Knoxville, Anamosa, Independence, and see what maybe those size communities, you know, charge for that, so. So right now it's 19 facades, so 19 buildings, so.
What's the total dollar amount that this grant can go for?
Well, the grant covers, it really gonna be 1.5 million, because the grant covers 750. And
It's gonna exceed that.
she acted like she thought it was gonna be a little under. That's what she acted like to me today. So I haven't seen anything yet.
Well, I added mine up and
Well, 750, and then you got 325 of owner commitment, and then 325 of city commitment, so 1.5.
I'm saving 2 of them, but mine come up to 750,000 total.
Yeah, I don't know, till I seen them all, but
So, I mean,
she knows
Yeah,
what the
no.
grant is. I mean, we can't,
yeah, I hope it works out.
yeah.
I'm all in.
Now, there's, and I don't think the 2 rounds is not split, or maybe it's 2 rounds of 750. I'd have to
Well,
ask
I
her
assume
mom.
if we do 2 rounds,
Yeah.
it'll be
Yeah,
brand new grant next round.
so I do know that, if, let's say everybody's all in right now, we will have to prioritize, and it's not gonna be more or less we decide, because it's kinda gotta be, we can't do 5 on North Second and 5 over here, because then when they do the reval,
Yeah.
is that part still gonna be blight enough
Yeah.
to get a grant? So, a lot of variables go into it, so. But I think I did see Napa's, had some cement board on the front, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You saw the one for the Hy-Vee drug test?
I didn't, no.
Yeah.
All I seen was Jamie Lynn's.
It's really cool, it really
Huh.
is, and it's gonna transform, it's gonna make the building look a lot like some of the pictures from the 1930s.
Hmm.
It's really
That's
nifty.
awesome.
Complete with awning and over the front.
I'll ask if maybe the next meeting I can, have a copy of them all, and maybe we put it up on
If
the,
you want a copy of mine, I've got it,
yeah,
Mr. Mayor.
so. I just, you know, wanna make it clear that if anybody thinks, you know, hey, there's no way I can do this, you know, come to City Hall, reach out and, you know, try to help lead along, so.
Well, there's, as far as our building goes for the Oddfellows, we own that building with Hy-Vee Drug Town, and I know as a group, for us, we wouldn't have the money to cover the 25%, so we would have to go to the Grand Lodge of Iowa, and I don't know how long that process would take. And because, you know, when it's all said and done, it's their
Yeah.
property anyway, you know.
Has anybody tried to reach out to him yet to at least let him know that?
No, I haven't, because we need to get together as a group, and, you know, a few of them are farmers, and that's why we haven't pretty much gotten together yet.
I'd say maybe have that discussion and
Soon.
reach
yes.
out, yeah, so we don't wait. The grant application actually got pushed along. Usually it's by Thanksgiving. Now they act like sometime in January, so some of them milestone dates that she give us back in October are kind of pushed back, but she's still trying to stay on in case we run into some things. Let's say somebody backs out, maybe we can go after another one, because there is still probably 5 or 6 businesses that are not participating. Some that can't. Rhonda Lynn's building cannot because she's fixed her building up and it's not considered blight. You know, Iowa State University Extension is a nice building. They can't. One I'd really like to see the drawings of theater, because I know she's
I
in
saw
for.
that today.
Did you?
Yeah, they got 3 or 4 different versions, but it's pretty cool.
Huh.
Yeah.
So, keep you informed on that.
I'm telling you, I was really impressed, and I don't know how we as a group couldn't do it, because, I mean, it's part of our responsibility of being a downtown building.
Yeah. And that building's neat.
It is, and the thing about, you know, we can't just sit around idly by and watch the south side of that building fade away, you know.
Right.
Because I've done my best as for part of the caretakers to try to take care of at least the front of that building, but, you know, you get overwhelmed with things.
Yeah. Only other thing I got is, talk to the White Oak owners, and the DNR, I do know, is mandating a full fuel tank replacement. So I'm curious to see what that's going to make their decision on, if they're even gonna continue on or what. So hopefully I'll have an answer on that next week.
They
So
pretty much got it gutted though, don't they?
the inside's gutted, but that's it. So
Hopefully moves the rats along.
yeah, yeah. I think that's all I got. Public Works. You're gonna talk about the leaf blower, ain't you?
Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Let
I'm
them
right
know
here.
what's going on.
Hey, we raked the leaves in our yard like last week and nobody's come by. What's going on?
We haven't been there?
No.
I'll get them right on it tomorrow.
First thing, maybe tonight, you can follow me home.
But if you haven't noticed, the big green leaf sucking machine has not been mobile. So the motor is blown up. The motor is obsolete. Cannot get parts for it. If you could get parts for it, they'd have to come from probably China. Could be who knows how long before you get them, and then if you run into another problem, you need another part, now you're waiting maybe another month. So
Yeah.
I talked to at least a couple different places, and everybody I talked to said, yeah, we're not going to rebuild that. We could, but I don't know. I couldn't even give you a lead time on how long it would take.
How big a motor's on that?
Beg your pardon?
3-cylinder diesel.
3-cylinder diesel, huh?
Yeah. So the company that makes that's ODB. They're out of Virginia, I believe, East Coast. So I saw that they put a 3-cylinder Kubota diesel on that same leaf pack that we have, and so I got a hold of them and I said, hey, I need a motor, and they said, oh, we can't sell you a motor. Apparently when they got bought out by some company, they took away their ability to direct sell motors. So I got a hold of Tri-State Engines, which is a Kubota industrial dealer. I finally got a motor. And then the next problem is every time you try to get a motor, they go, "What's your serial number?" I don't have a serial number. I don't have a Kubota motor, so because I'm trying to repower. So anyway, we finally have a motor. That motor did not have the right flywheel. It did not have flywheel housing on it. The coupling hub that bolts to the flywheel for the shaft, for the pulleys to bolt up to, for the belts to turn the impeller. That is not right from the old one to this one. So I called Tri-State Engine yesterday, and she told me that everything I needed to get that leaf back going was supposed to be here today. I got a muffler, and I got a flywheel housing. I still don't have a flywheel, and I still don't have the coupler, which I didn't think they were going to send me because they said that it was like an 8 to 10 week lead time or somewhere around there. But she told me yesterday that she was told that my coupler is supposed to be coming from, I think it's called Hayes Coupling. They're out of Michigan. So we'll see. Brad Ewert built me the motor mount, or I took the old motor mount tray off the old machine. I tried to order a new one from ODB. They make them in-house. I called them Monday to see if they'd even started making it. She said, "Oh no." And I said, "Well, then don't worry about it." So I'll have somebody here in town fabricate one for me. So Brad welded me up some motor mounts this morning. I got, I couldn't get a radiator for it. And we just had the radiator rebuilt on the old, or on the leaf back. So I'm going to make the old one work. I'm going to have somebody make a new shroud for the fan. Just to put into perspective why we're going through all this work, we bought that leaf back in 2011 for $25,000. A brand new one today to replace that same leaf back from the same exact model is $67,000. So
Should've got two, Sean.
Inflation, right?
that would be
Could have sold that
why
right
I'm
now for 50.
putting so much work into.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with the leaf back itself. The impeller and the bearings and stuff, I went through and replaced, not the impeller, but the bearings got replaced last year, the year before, when I had to have clean. Yeah.
What are you gonna have in total parts then? Motor,
I
everything?
don't know. I mean, I'm gonna guess somewhere around the probably 10,000 mark.
Less than 60.
yeah.
Less than 67,000. Elliot did have a demo model on the lot when this all kind of took place, and they were going to sell it to us for $55,000.
Oh, so that's generous of them.
Yeah, and I
Ask
went up
them for a
there on
test
What's the
Wednesday.
trade-in for?
Nothing. It ain't got a motor. I went up there to take some pictures of it on Wednesday,
Roads or,
and it left the day before they just sold it. That thing had sat up there for 2 years.
it's already been accounted.
So, and just to put in perspective, they make a unit, you know, that's self-propelled, sits on like a Freightliner M2 chassis that literally one guy could drive around and run a joystick and suck up the leaves, you know, and that's $250,000. I don't believe we'll be getting one of those anytime soon.
Hey, did you hear that? We got a motion to open burn?
No, not yet. Not yet.
I
live by that.
Second, do we have a second?
I live down on the south side, and that's smoke all day long down there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who catches that on fire down there, but it smokes all the time. I heard
Well, it
we're
doesn't
supposed
just
to catch it
magically
on
go
fire.
away, Troy, so,
It magically gets started though.
yeah.
I just tell everybody in town we were promoting exercise, you know, get out and rake some leaves and
Yeah.
Right there, that breeze is
So
perfect.
I will start mounting the motor tray, the motor, obviously I'm still waiting on parts, I'm still waiting on an air intake, which I might be able to make the old one off the old machine work, until I get the other one. But I'll start mounting that up tomorrow, and, so I'm hoping to, have that going, hopefully, as long as my flywheel and that coupler, if they don't send me the coupler that I need, I'll have to try to like get Brian Tips or somebody to take that one and turn it down, make it smaller in diameter, and drill 6 new holes to bolt up to the flywheel. But it can be done. So, but diligently working. I'm optimistic, hopeful that by next week we will be sucking leaves. We should be able to make one round around town and be all caught up.
You probably will.
Yeah.
They're all
Done for
gone.
the
Yeah.
year with any luck.
I think there has been a lot of people finally utilize the compost site,
Yeah.
so,
So,
alright.
That's not.
Kemp's will be done with the new sewer main in the alley there at Tony Garrison's. Maybe tomorrow, if not, Saturday, weather depending. They are getting ready to tie the last 2 on, probably starting tomorrow. So,
Do we still have a dead end water line there, down at the north end of that alley?
Yes.
Is it? Did we ever talk about? For some reason, I thought. Did we talk
We
about
talked about it.
looping that? All right.
so that should be, we've had a couple problems on that project with water main being down that alley. It's 4-inch transite runs down that alley. So had a corporation valve that was leaking for Tony Garrison's when they cut it out of the way, so I had to go replace it. And then that same day they accidentally nicked the side of the transite main with the tooth on the bucket, so I had to go down and put a repair band on it. But might end up having to put at Forbes. That Mike thinks that could be core direct tapped into that transite, and if that's the case, it'll probably be leaking, and so we'll probably have to replace it. But I got restocked on transite tap bands this week, so
Sounds good.
other than that,
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jared.
Thank you.
Back
Right.
truck fixed?
oh yeah, the back truck, yeah, got that fixed. That was, the tube wouldn't collapse back in, and then it, back where it, towards the debris body where it mounts, it kind of like peeled it all apart. I priced out, put a new tube on there, it was gonna be about $6 grand. In the meantime, we got it collapsed, took it out to Ewart's and they welded it up. And Brad kinda said it was probably getting about to the end of its life, and if we were gonna keep that, we might think about replacing that, which obviously we're gonna keep it for a long time.
Gosh, I can't believe at the end of its life.
But anyway, he'd already welded it up, and so I went ahead and put it back on the back truck, and made sure it worked. And but Brad said that he made mention that he could probably
Water and sewer.
make us one for a fraction of the cost, and be.
What is
just
there?
good
Is there
for-
span like 200 hours or something? What's their span on it?
I don't know, but I can't answer how many hours.
Because I mean, how old's that truck? Less than
2009.
When did we bought it here just a few
Last
A year ago,
Last year.
used.
Yeah, but I mean, you think about the fact that everything
What?
you suck up is hitting that tube. So I mean, it's getting pitted, from just the fact that the material is running through it all the time. So I mean, it's.
I mean, you
it's
see what
obviously a
Brad will
requirement.
charge to have a new one made.
Yeah,
Let us
he
know
said
that.
he said probably somewhere around like $2,000. So
Why don't
Is
you get a
what-
quote?
is what he
Not
said.
about, get us a hard number and have them.
Personally, it's on there, it's working. Like Let's
I
just run it.
understand that, but
Let's just
we're
run it
gonna run
until-
into an issue like the vac truck, or like the leaf truck. We're gonna have 2,200 people upset. Get a quote and let's see on paper
Well,
and plan
It's fine,
ahead.
but-
Preventative maintenance, we gotta take care of.
But on the caveat to that, if he quotes me, it's gonna be $2,000 to put it, make me a new one, but then we keep running that one and it doesn't, it's fine for another 6 years. Well, the price of steel might be way less in 6 years than it is today. So I see what you're saying, but at the same time, I don't think it's gonna be.
We done with our samples?
The lead? Yeah, but we gotta do some replacement now.
Yeah.
I think we found 2 lead lines in town and a bunch of galvanized. We gotta replace the galvanized, and the reason we gotta replace the galvanized is because when you tie a galvanized line, you got a little loop that ties in the main, and a lot of them are lead. Without digging up the main, we don't know for sure, so if they come galvanized, the state says you gotta replace them, so, I mean, and that's probably 20-25 galvanized lines out there that we got. So we'll start. I'm hoping to get the lead lines replaced yet this fall, but next summer we'll start hitting galvanized.
Plus, galvanized is not good anyway, so don't really want that on our end anyway. There was more than one lead line?
Yeah, I think on that survey there was. 2.
All right.
Alright.
But if you want me to get,
I think, at least let's see a number will work as a finance committee.
Give us a ratio compared to what a new one would cost. I mean, phone calls probably he'd give it to you.
If you want to, we can have him build one, we can,
I just
Sit
wanna
on a
see how
shelf
much it's
somewhere.
gonna cost.
don't matter to me. If it costs $2,000, we can store it in the lean-to side of the big shed. If we ever need it, we need it, and
Well,
How long
I
would
mean,
it take to
you know,
build?
'cause on that side of it too, Jared, you wouldn't be down, if you had it made, you wouldn't be down like you are with leaf vac too.
no, I wasn't down that long with that.
Right.
Well, having it made local, we're gonna be able to, lead
Oh,
time's
yeah.
gonna be
Well, if Jared,
significantly
way he
less.
put it, it's gonna be way less anyway.
Yeah.
Wow. It'd be way less even if that broke tomorrow. I guarantee you, I can pull that off in a matter of a couple hours and have it out to Brad, and he can probably have me one made in a matter of a day or two. I'm not gonna have any kind of lead time near like I've had on this leaf vac. So that won't be a problem. So yeah, I can ask him, and that's what he told Nick was. He told him, I don't know, it was like $1,400 or something, but like $2,000 at the max or something. But I can double check with him and ask him.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Thanks,
Awesome.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fire away.
Jared didn't leave me a lot of time, so I gotta do this quick.
All right, real quick. October was a fairly busy month. 27 calls, 23 medical, 2 fire, 2 rescue. Tower 112 is officially in service, so Jared's done a good job getting some guys trained up, and we got enough guys trained up that I felt comfortable putting it in service. So at our last mutual aid meeting with all the departments in Louisa County, I let all the departments know, hey, we're in business. If you need that truck, don't be afraid to call for it. And then I also reached out to Muscatine, Burlington, West Burlington, Washington, to let them know if they ever get in a situation where they need a secondary elevated platform for a major commercial fire or technical rescue. Don't be afraid to give us a shout. Looking forward to getting that truck out and moving. And then last thing, Fireman's Ball is Saturday, November 30th. So we got the tickets all sent out. Should have received them in the mail, and we should have a thing in the paper as well. Any questions for me? All right, quick to the point.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Yes.
Ambulance?
No.
It's been kinda quiet.
Don't say the Q word. Wow.
I like to see Justin out driving around, so. Alright, nothing, sheriff's office. right.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for adjournment. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Well, you've been bad.
$25,
If I
right?
oppose that, would you been bad? I didn't get 25 today. Did I?
Yeah.